I am very excited to do this interview with a former student. So let me introduce everybody to Kai. She is a former student here at Waterfront Academy, and since graduating, she was our first graduating class from eighth grade. She went on to high school. She did go to a Catholic school here, high school here in Washington, D.C., and then she graduated from there and now she's in high school and what you have 1 or 2 more years left and before you graduate from what did I say, college, from university. So this is very exciting to have her taking a few moments to interview, and this is the first interview I've done, so hopefully we do a good job on this. And so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start by saying welcome, Kai, to my very first interview online for our YouTube channel. I do think that one of the questions I get a lot is about the students that graduate from our school and how they do once they leave here. And so I think this is a great way because I mean, I say amazing things about you as well as the other graduates, but I think this is a really neat way for others to see just the amazing people that we have coming out of Waterfront Academy. And um, and so welcome back, kind of virtually. In full disclosure, Kai came by the school last week, 2 weeks ago. So tell me what it was like to come back for a
I
visit.
mean, it was nice seeing the school in a new space. It's a different space than when I attended. It was definitely a little larger than when I was there. Or at least I feel it was a little larger than when I was there. When I was there, I was the only middle school student, and now you guys have two. So
Yes.
that's definitely some progress, some expansion. It was nice seeing all of the familiar materials and even the furniture from when we were at the first location. So it was really refreshing and nostalgic to see everyone. And even some of one of the old teachers that I had while I was there is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's exciting. And I'm still here too.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, and then go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell our audience a little, well, just give them a little flavor of who you are.
Okay, so my name is Kai Paul. I'm a rising junior at Howard University. I'm a dance major, electronic studio arts minor, and I'm from PG County, Maryland.
Okay, and so you obviously love dance. Tell us a little bit about your love of dance and when that started and how that progressed a little.
So, the very same year that I started attending Waterfront for middle school, I also started dancing at the Washington School of Ballet, that's also located in DC. So I think it was interesting that my dance training and my like switch from traditional to Montessori happened at like kind of the same time. I think one kind of allowed the other to flourish because I think moving to a school that didn't require me to do so much homework or like state testing, things like of that nature, helped me have the time and like brain capacity to explore this other thing after school.
Mhm.
So I think that was a good experience.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that you said that. I mean that's the point, right? Like part of the many points, but that is definitely one. Um, so now you started, if I remember correctly, at third grade here. Is that right?
No, I started in sixth grade.
Was it sixth grade? Okay. All right. Wow. You were a young girl at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so what is your favorite memory from your time here?
Hmm. I think my favorite memory is probably my very first year there when I had the opportunity to direct the Christmas pageant.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that really gave me the opportunity to get to know everyone in like a more intimate way. even like the lower elementary and even like the primary students, I got to get to know everyone. And I think it also gave me a creative outlet also to like explore things and try things and test things and experiment and kind of, I guess it was a good introduction, I guess, to Montessori as well as being able to get to know everyone.
So when you did the directing, did you also do the narrating part or just the directing?
I believe Henry was the narrator.
Okay.
I believe Henry was the narrator. I did directing, and then I also did costumes.
Yes, yes. Our
And I was
we have a
also
lot.
married.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, yes, yes. You
Yeah.
were married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. That was so our for the audience that doesn't know this, our we have an annual Christmas pageant, and the Christmas pageant, all of students take different parts of the nativity, and we've made some changes here and there over the years, but it is, I mean, the nativity is the nativity. You can't really change that too much. But we've added sets, or we've added costumes, like Kai just mentioned, how she helped us with the costumes that one year. We had students who said that they wanted a different type of participation. And in this case, Kai wanted to direct it. So we've had students participate in different ways, and this is really a student production, and it is always a joy. The parents look forward to this more than any other event that we have. And I think we have amazing events. And I think our parents think we have amazing events. But this is definitely the big one that everybody looks forward to. So I love that's one of your favorite memories. So can you describe the learning environment when you were here?
So I guess for me, it was pretty unique, since I was sort of the only one in my grade level. Even though it didn't always feel very isolated all the time because I was still in a classroom full of children, although they weren't in the same grade level as me or learning the same things as me, I was still in a classroom full of classmates in
Mhm.
a way, if that makes sense. I would say I really enjoyed the independence aspect of it, where I got to be in control of what I was learning every day, and then I could really put emphasis on the things I was interested in, and that allowed me to excel faster in certain subjects. Like I really enjoyed math and reading. So I believe once I graduated and got into high school, I tested into one of the highest maths and reading classes, and I really had no idea that I was even at that level because there is no like testing. We don't have to do the state testing and things like that. So I think removing removing the sort of like curriculum, even though there was a curriculum, but removing like Common Core and having to follow this step-by-step module really allowed me to excel past what I even thought I could be to begin with.
That's amazing. I love that story. I actually tell that story to everybody. And you
Yeah.
know what? You know what? Like, I don't want to take away from you because you are a bright, brilliant, just you were a wonderful, wonderful student as well as a person. And I don't want to take any of your stuff away from you, but I will say that one of the things that I have been able to notice over time is that that is generally speaking, now you were extraordinary for sure, but generally speaking, we have noticed this over and over with our graduates when they go into high school is that they are extremely well prepared academically. Now, but one thing I think also, and is that it is a little bit of a transition, just like the transition from a typical school to the Montessori. There's also that transition from the Montessori over to back to a typical school. So maybe can you talk about both of those transitions a little bit?
Yes. Yes. So I feel like transitioning from a typical school into Montessori wasn't too crazy because I still had extracurriculars and things that I did outside of school to help me with like being socialized with my age group and things like that. And then academically, it wasn't too crazy because I enjoyed having that independence and being able to do what I wanted to do in that day. But the transition from Montessori to starting high school was it was a little rocky at first. Um, and I think it was really learning time management. That was a really, really big thing for me because it's instead of being able to focus on the subjects that you tend to excel at, or even being able to have that individualized teacher that can like really break things down for you and slow things down and having that like personalized lesson, it really taught me to ask for help when
Uh,
you need it. Yeah,
yeah,
because
that is,
it's not just given to you and then you're in a classroom full of like 30, 40 people. They're really not going to slow down and see if everyone is um together. So it really taught me transitioning out of it, time management and not being afraid to ask for help.
yeah, that's really wonderful. And I think that like that's a skill that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life, right? Like
Yeah.
that's yeah, we're as humans we're community oriented anyways, right? Like we're social animals. And so being able to ask for help is part of
This
being
is my mom.
ah, hi. Is she gonna come in the screen?
Mommy, do you want to come say hi? It's Melissa. She's just coming home from work.
Okay. Um, so another part of the school is in addition to the Montessori piece of it. Oh, there we are. Hi. We're doing our interview.
Okay, good. Good.
Um, Jillian, we'll have to do one with you too next.
Okay.
Um, so another part is the Spanish aspect of the school. So I think one thing that is unique about our school is that we're very niche, as you know, and so you're not going to find too many versions. You're not going to find many schools similar to ours. So because we are so niche. But one of the things that we did do was the Spanish language. Tell us what that was like for you. Did you have any Spanish coming in? And yeah, let's start there.
I would say my Spanish was very minimal coming in. I probably knew how to count like 1 through 20 and the alphabet kind of, but there was no conversational skills. I wouldn't say I was able to hold a conversation. And I think that's what's really good about the Spanish immersion and taking different subjects in Spanish. I think it really trains your brain to be able to have conversations. And then also the reading and writing part, I could read and write very well in Spanish after graduating. Like
Wow.
I might not have been the most fluent person in the world, but I could read and write very well in high school. And I think that's really something unique about the immersion curriculum that a lot of other schools tend to lack.
Oh, wow, that's really wonderful. So when you went into high school, what was that like with this? Because I'm assuming you took Spanish classes when you went to high school. So what was that like?
It was completely different. I feel like throughout high school, I lost almost all of my Spanish because it was more, I don't know, the way that we were taught Spanish in high school, it wasn't conversational. We weren't taught how to speak. We were just taught how to pass the test, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So we just went through and did like conjugations or like things like that. Nothing that really like promoted actually having a conversation or being able to communicate.
So now, would you seek out opportunities, or do you have any interest in seeking out opportunities to be in more an immersive environment or opportunity?
Yeah, recently I had been doing research to try to get an opportunity to study abroad at some point. So we're looking for next summer, hopefully. We were going to do this summer. Well, actually, I got accepted into an internship program to go to Spain for the summer, but I wasn't able to get enough scholarship funding. So we're hoping for next summer, if I can start getting the funding rolling now, then we could raise enough.
Well, that's wonderful. I love that. I hope that we'll have to do this again and tell me how it goes.
Yes.
Um, so and then the final piece that we do here is that we have we're in the Catholic tradition. Our environment is based on the Catholic religion. So what was that like for you?
I also think my situation with that was very unique because after I think a year or two at Waterfront, I had decided that I wanted to be baptized and become Catholic. And I think it was very empowering that I got to make that decision on my own, not necessarily being raised in a Catholic household. Like my mom is Catholic, but she didn't necessarily raise me that way, like not necessarily going to church every single weekend and
Yeah.
going to like the classes and stuff. So I think it was interesting being able to be in school and actually like take the catechism classes and really learn and understand and then being able to make that decision for myself and being able to be baptized and confirmed.
And it was so beautiful too. It was such an honor. I mean, it was wonderful to witness that and like I said, you're just such a beautiful person inside and out and so and to be even just a small little bit of your story, it's just truly an honor that I don't take lightly. It's very exciting to see this, and I look
Thank you.
forward to see where you move next, like what's going to happen. So, speaking of which, tell us a little bit about what Howard is like. I think a lot of people would love to learn about that, and then tell us what I obviously like you still have some time, but like if you have any thoughts of what is next, what a vision or goals, like I would love to hear it. I think our audience would too.
Okay. So Howard is really a school, or at least my school, the College of Fine Arts. Because I know it's a pretty medium-sized school, so every college has their own experience. But personally speaking, from the College of Fine Arts, they really strive for excellence and they really believe in us and push us to a standard of excellence, which I like. I like being challenged. Um, and I think that they truly like, since the College of Fine Arts is such a small school, they really, honestly, we kind of get that individualized, almost sort of
Mhm.
situation that I had at Waterfront. It's not necessarily the exact same, but I feel like having that experience in middle school and then having a little bit of a larger, even though I didn't go to the biggest high school in the world, but having the experience to be in a larger class and then being back in a much smaller class again, I think shows how like the result of that personalized care, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This past March, I had the experience of performing at the Kennedy Center, and that was like my first professional dance experience ever. And I don't know that I would have had an opportunity like that at a bigger school. I think that they really encourage us to find our own individualized like reason and drive for why we want to do what we do, and they do everything in their power to make sure that we stay motivated and that we're able to motivate ourselves, which is also a very important thing. And I think that's something that the Montessori method also taught me, like being able to motivate yourself to do the work every day. So I think that's really something I was able to transfer, and it's really working at this school that I'm at right now.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, because I'm sure our audience are going to have much younger children, and so college is so far away from them. Like, can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about the experience of like applying for the universities and then what was the first year like? You know, yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience there.
Yeah. So I would say The application process, I'd say my experience wasn't crazy. I did a lot of research on college. It was kind of difficult finding college dance programs because I didn't want to go to a conservatory. I really wanted to be on like a college campus so that I could learn other things that aren't dance so that I could like gain skills in other things that weren't just dance. Especially like the way that the world is and you never know what's going to happen. It's important to have, your foot in every pool. So that kind of ruled out a lot of schools and it narrowed down my decision. I also chose for myself, I also wanted the HBCU experience, which
Mhm.
also narrowed down my choices a lot. Um, and then I didn't really want to go very far from home.
That's
So that really that really not that I like couldn't have if I didn't want to, but it was really between Howard and VCU, a school
okay.
in Richmond, and I think the deciding factor was when I went to Howard in person and met the faculty and stuff. They just acted so familiar with me. Like it felt like I had already been there forever.
Oh,
So I think yeah, and I think like I just needed to go with like what my instincts were telling me, like what, and I feel like God also guides us this way, like when we're in a place that feels comfortable or when we're around people that make us feel comfortable, like that's a sign that that's where we're supposed to be or that's who we're supposed to be with. So I took that as a sign, and I think I was right so far.
I love that. Well, is there anything that you would like to tell the audience of parents or potentially students? Like, what are some of the big themes that you have learned or words of wisdom that you have to offer?
Um, I would say the biggest thing that motivates me every day is making sure that your goals are somewhere that you can like see it often. Or like make sure that you're continuously reminding yourself of your goals, like something like having a vision board or well, I'm a visual person, so something like having a vision board or maybe going back and looking at pictures and videos of like people that you aspire to be, people that inspire you. um I don't know, like if you're into like maybe I'm a dancer. So if you're not into dance or if you're into something else like math or science or you want to go into like engineering, STEM, like look up schools that look interesting to you or people that you look up to, and just have something that will help you keep yourself motivated because it gets hard. Anything that you want to do, it's going to get hard and there's going to be like things that are going to make you not want to do it anymore. But if you're really passionate about it and if you really keep the things that are motivating you to do it at the front of your head, it gets easier and you're able to have that self motivation and self discipline to continue to do it.
Yeah, I actually tell a lot of people exactly what you're saying. Um, I think that it's really important to figure out what kind of person you want to be and have, or in some way creating a North Star for yourself. So every time you have a decision, you can reflect on what that thing is, what that North Star is, and then it makes the decision process a little bit easier. Otherwise, you have paralysis by indecision or indecision by paralysis, or you're all over the place and you're not necessarily very focused and moving forward in a singular direction. And so yeah, I think that that's a really great words of wisdoms from Kai. I love that. I love that. This is wonderful. I will say that from my perspective, I did get to meet you when you were such a young girl, and now I have seen you just grow into this beautiful young lady, and I'm super looking forward to what's next for you because I know it's going to be amazing. You have the whole world in front of you, and I know that your decision making and you've got your head's right on there, and you're good. You're really, really good, and I look forward to that for you. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
And we'll have to do this again.
Yes.
And and I guess next I'm gonna do your mom. We'll do another interview with your mom from the parent perspective. Um, so thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.